Okay, now we're going to do the final three problems. So calculate using any method. So this one works just like the multiplication problem. You can't divide unless they're both fractions. So we're going to convert this one into 6. So how many 6 is this? 2 times 6 is 12 plus 5. This is 17 6. How many 6 is this one? 24 plus 1. This is 25 6. Now you could just divide across. So if you divide across, you would get 17 divided by 25 and 6 divided by 6. Anything divided by 1 is itself. Now some of you knew that you could change division, so we're going to change this from division to multiplication and then change this to the reciprocal. And if you did that, I don't know why I wrote 16 here, sorry, it's supposed to be 17 6. If you do it that way, then you can simplify. 6 and 6 is 1, and then you just multiply across and you get 17 over 25. So either way, that's what you get. Next one, 9a. So this guy makes only one size latte, and every latte uses 3 1/3 cups of milk to make every latte. How many lattes can he make if he have 21 cups of milk? Well, let's see. You got to start off with 21, and then you have to see how many of these go into that. So now I had some people that made a diagram. They started off and they made 21 rectangles, and then they divided them up into thirds, and they looked to see how many of these would it fit into that. And that works, except that it becomes confusing making sense of the remainder, because this does not go evenly into this. So let's just do the division problem. So we know we start with 21 and we're going to divide by 3 1/3. And just like the problem up here, you can't divide unless everything's in fraction form. So we're going to change this to be 21 over 1. And this one's going to be divided by, how many thirds is this? 9 plus 1, this is 10 thirds. So we want to see how many 10 thirds go into 21. So we could convert this to a multiplication problem. So this is going to be 3/10. And then this is going to, nothing simplifies, no, 10, 21, no. So 21 times 3 is 63, 63 over 10. How many times does that go? 10 goes into 63 6 times, remainder 3. So what does this mean? How many lattes can he make? He can make 6 lattes. And then what does this 3/10 mean? Well, he can make 6 lattes and part of a latte. So 3/10 of a latte can be made. So that means he doesn't really have enough milk for a whole latte. He could make 3/10 of a latte. Next one. Clarissa jogs 2 2/5 kilometer on a trail, sits down, waits for a friend, and her friend has jogged less. So obviously she has to catch up. How much? So if Clarissa jogs this much and Bianca jogs less, we need to find out how much is this. So this is what kind of problem is this? Well, if these two add up, they would give you this. But if you don't know the part that adds up, that means you're going to have to subtract. So you're going to have to do 2 2/5 minus 1 1/2. And that is called a number sentence. And that's the number sentence you would use to solve this problem. Now we have to figure it out. So what is 2 2/5 minus 1 1/2? Well, let's see. 2/5 is, 2 is less than half of 5, so I'm not going to have enough to subtract the 1/2. Let's go ahead and change to common denominator though. So this is going to be how many tenths? 5 times 2, 2 times 2 is 4. And then same thing here, I want to change it to tenths. So this is 2 times 5, 1 times 5 is 5. And now it's a little more obvious. Look, you can't subtract 4 tenths minus 5 tenths. So we are going to need to, there's different ways you could use mental math. You could say, hey, to get up to 2, I would need another 5 tenths, and then I need another 4 tenths to get up to this. So this is 1 5 tenths. This is 2 4 tenths. So I'd need another 5/10 to get up to 2, and then another 4/10 to get up to 2 and 4/10. So that's another 9/10. Or you could go ahead and borrow. So we're going to borrow 10/10, which is the whole. So we take this down to 1 whole, and then the 1 whole that I borrowed becomes 10/10. 4/10 and 10/10, this is 14/10. And now I can subtract 14/10 minus 5/10 is 9/10. So we have to write this in a sentence. So that means 9/10 of a kilometer is how much Bianca needs to catch Clarissa. There you go.